suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sort of sorry. I guess everyone knows this but me. Okay, I could prattle on for hours about Dad, which is a good thing, I suppose. We were all very fortunate to have a dad who was very present in our lives, and more so a dad who struck just the right balance of involvement. Yeah, we had to do chores. None of us were ever too pleased with that. But when the time came to leave the nest, we knew how to function and didn't find responsibility to be such an alien concept. He encouraged us to be curious about everything, to enjoy a good read, to respect others and learn from our mistakes. With Mom, he was half of a support group we could depend on for help when we needed it, and we could count on to make us sorry if we got too far out of line. If everyone had been brought up this well, suffice it to say that the newspaper headlines would probably read something like, "Interesting weather we're having today," "Good time had by all," instead of the usual depressing stuff. I think Charles Emerson Winchester III summed it up most eloquently to Hawkeye Pierce in an episode of MASH. "I had a father, you had a dad." One memory in particular popped into mind while I was thinking about this service. It's an odd memory, but it incorporates a healthy scientific curiosity, respect for others, and being there when I needed help. When I was very young, perhaps about 4 or 5 years old, Dad took me to a museum. One of the exhibits was a scale model of the moon. It's probably about twice the diameter of a basketball, and it was mounted in an alcove. This alcove was made to look like outer space, deep black, with stars that lit up. Even at that age, I understood that this couldn't be the real moon, but the illusion was so convincing that it had me wondering just how it was done. Apparently it was okay to touch this model, so Dad asked me if I wanted to touch the moon. I said yes, and he picked me up and held me over the railing. I stuck my hand out and felt the model's rough surface, and then I looked down and saw nothing but blackness and stars beneath me. I got scared that Dad would drop me and I'd fall into outer space. I started to panic. But he held me tight and pulled me back to the safe side of the railing. Once I was back on the floor, he tapped on the wall of the alcove to show that there was actually a solid surface there, nothing to worry about. That was quite a relief. But he didn't laugh at me for being afraid during that moment when I dangled over the railing. 40 years later, I still remember that little moment. It's probably because it was a moment of sheer terror for me. But it's interesting that it came to mind while preparing for this memorial service. Upon reflection, it contains those core values: curiosity, encouragement, protectiveness, and respect. All the things that we need so we can go forth and touch the moon for ourselves. Thank you, Dad.